Not much moving on the index. It's absolutely flat out there. But ICICI Bank wants to be the leader today, and how? 6% back close to the highs of the day. On that note, let's welcome in Sudeep Bandyopadhyay, Group Chairman of IndiTrade Capital. Sudeep, good to have you with us on the show. Axis, ICICI, are they your consensus buys as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at the numbers Axis has produced and look at the management commentary. I think pretty commendable. Also, remember between these two companies, and I have been mentioning this consistently in your channel, the kitchen sinking looks like complete. So, here on quarter, you will keep seeing that the asset recovery will start kind of giving boost to the profitability of the company. Asset quality is continuously improving as well. Also, the businesses are looking good. The CASA growth has been good as far as both these banks are concerned. Overall, also remember that the problems mutual funds are facing post this ILFS fiasco is helping generally the banks improve their CASA. And I think that's very good news as far as these banks are concerned. Axis definitely, ICICI also is in our list which the investors can buy. Remember one thing that these stocks have moved up quite a bit pretty fast. So you may not immediately make big gains, but if you have 1 year plus time horizon, I think still both these banks are good buys.
Fair enough. Well, the market's been very volatile. That drop that you saw on the bank Nifty has been bought, and how. Same as the case, and not with the same intensity with the Nifty. The bank Nifty fell about 220 points intraday, has recovered almost 150 of those points, and the Nifty as well. It won't show in this graphic, but that's been the extent of the move that you've seen over the last few minutes. Look at that move on the Nifty. It's a sharp decline, and then that's been bought, and half of those losses covered. So, good afternoon. Your thoughts on Bajaj Auto? Just talking to the management, almost at 52-week low. Is it a space where you want to say, okay, let me buy here?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I was listening to the commentary and in your channel, and I was the company declared this strategy. It's not a shock. It's not a surprise. They very clearly said that this is the strategy they want to take. They were continuously losing market share. They tried pretty much everything, but the market share was not going anywhere. It was reducing. And they took this conscious call of playing the price strategy and increasing the market share. And this is exactly what they indicated. Yes, they indicated 16 to 17% margin guidance. It came at 15 point something. So there is a bit of a disappointment, but otherwise pretty much in line with the strategy they have been working on. I also want to highlight one thing which probably got missed out. The export performance has been fantastic, and that is one area which Bajaj Auto clearly stands out. The Nigerian market, which used to be a major problem for the company about a couple of years back, has really turned around and giving them real good money. They have a significant market share there, and they're continuously gaining strength in that market. It's one of the largest markets for two-wheelers, and Bajaj is well entrenched there. So if I have to buy a two-wheeler stock today, I will go and buy definitely Bajaj Auto, and also take the opportunity of this correction post-result announcement.
All right, Sudeep, just hold on to that thought. We are down to the last couple of seconds of trade. An indecisive session, Anuj, but I mean, should we be happy at least the lows weren't broken today?
I think, frankly, this is a very, it's a very treacherous market. Surabhi, it's hand on heart, I don't know how many traders would have made money today, and it's a market which has, I think, hit stop losses both ways today. It's that kind of market. I think you go long, the market hits your stop. You go short, the market hits your stop. And a large part of this is because of what's been happening with the large stocks, HDFC Twins, ICICI. So let's just wait for things to stabilize a bit here. Anyway, in terms of individual stocks, clearly ICICI Bank was your big leader today. 6% higher on the stock by the time things close. 368 is what you have on the stock. And I think the recent 52-week high has been 383. So who knows? Well, within 4 or 5% of that. Axis, of course, the other one, up 4.5%. Some move in metal stocks today. Tata Steel and Hindalco both were higher. HCL Tech posted the numbers of the highest point, but made a good move, 3% higher. SBI 2.5%, Bajaj Finance 2.5% higher. Larsen was up about 1%. On the way down, though, there were a lot of stocks. I think the prominent losers really were the HDFC Twins, and Kotak Mahindra Bank. These stocks, I think, accounted for a large part of Nifty's decline. ITC also was a bit weak. Yes Bank also once again back below 200. IOC posted numbers was down about 2%. And we had Lever as well down 1.5%.
Okay, on the mid-cap side, the screen was looking much, much better today. You have a positive advance decline ratio, almost 1,200 stocks up and about 900 down. 0.5% gain on the index as well. So let's come to the movers and shakers. First, some of the result reactions and, of course, some of the news-driven announcements. Cyient, for instance, there is a buyback meeting that's going to happen there, 4.5% up on that stock. KEC International's numbers were well received, 3%, 4% up there. Granule was also quite positive today. Jubilant Foodworks, despite all of this, chop and churn, is ending with a gain of just about 0.5%, close to the flat line. So these were some of the winners. If I talk about other big names, today was the return of the so-called beta trade. So you had HEG, Graphite, Phillips Carbon. Some of these stocks were up and about. V-Mart was up about 6% as well. Dish TV came back quite a bit, 11% up on Dish TV. So some of these beaten down SL Group stocks as well were in focus. Big move on Tata Sponge, by the way. Let's see if there's a follow-through tomorrow. 8% up as we're closing out. So Tata Sponge was something that was definitely catching the eye. Now, I'll talk about the losers on the flip side of the screen. Godrej Consumer clearly goes down as the big result disappointment. 7.5% gone from that stock today. DHFL, despite that conference call, not much confidence. 5% down on DHFL as well. The other big losers included LIC Housing Finance. Tata Power, after numbers, was down about 4%. And then you have IDFC First Bank that has seen about 3% get shaved off. And Strides Pharma also down by about 3%. So mixed trends coming through, but at least we had more gainers today to speak of. So Anuj, I guess the indecision continues, and pretty much should we expect more of the same till we get through this event, at least the Friday event, which is budget.
No, the more I look at the market, the more sense I get that this market is just protecting its lows because there's a budget. You don't perhaps want to be aggressively short ahead of budget, but the market is turning weak. There should not be any doubt about it. It's periodically 3 or 4 large stocks which are really keeping the index afloat, but otherwise things are a bit weak. Anyway, let's take final thoughts from our guests as well. Ashwini, what's your verdict?
See, my sense is that we are not behaving like we were in the past few times that we've gone to this 10,600, 650, and obviously you should use rallies to sell into. So vote on account probably creates a rally. And be watchful the moment all these large stocks again start to fall. That is the direction you have to take. But meanwhile, tomorrow's day, possibly trying to again sell rallies towards 10,700 is the right way to go.
Okay. Sudeep, final thoughts with you as well. Anything that stood out for you in the slew of earnings, anywhere where you're inspired to buy fresh?
Well, I think I'd like to talk about one stock, Survi. I think it's kind of beaten down. If you look at the entire consumer pack, one stock which is really quoting compared to peers at a lower P multiple is ITC Limited. I mean, I don't have to talk about the performance company, pretty much a leader in the tobacco, fantastic business there, FMCG improving. But there is always a nervousness around this stock during the budget season because of the expectation of incremental taxes and that affecting revenue and the business. But the fact is now the entire taxation, indirect taxation has moved to the GST regime, and it's extremely difficult for a budget to move that needle. So, considering the way the stock has moved after the after all this started building up, I recommend a buy in ITC, and I'm sure the investors, aggressive investors, can take that bet and probably will end up kind of winning the bet post the budget is announced.
Okay. All right, gentlemen, we'll wrap it up on that note then. Thanks very much for being with us on Closing Bell today. Right now, let's cut across to Prashant Jain, Joint MD and CEO of JSW Energy. They came out with some pretty strong numbers for the third quarter. Let's get more color.
The other efficiencies which we brought out, because of which the dark spread went up. And secondly, our interest costs also went down by 13% because we have been consistently deleveraging our balance sheet. So now our during the quarter, we reduced our net debt by 296 crores, which is close to 300 crores. Now our total debt stands at 10,686 crores. If you look at that, in last 7 quarters, we have deleveraged our balance sheet by net debt of close to 3,700 crores plus additional working capital bias credit reduction of in excess of 500 crores. So close to 4,200 crores have been reduced, and that's what reflects in our better debt to equity. Now we are at 0.9 times debt to equity. And in totality, if you look at 2016-17, our average total interest cost.
Okay, that's JSW Energy. They're talking about their balance sheet right now. IOC management is also addressing the media on their numbers. Let's listen to their third quarter performance.
$3 per barrel during the corresponding 9 months of previous year. The finance cost for the quarter ending 31st December 18 was 848 crore as compared to 673 crores in the corresponding quarter of financial year 17-18. The finance cost for the 9 months ending 31st December 18 was 3,067 crore as compared to 2,234 crores in the corresponding period of the previous financial year. Company has registered a profit of 717 crores during current quarter of the financial year as compared to a profit of 7,883 crores in the corresponding quarter of previous financial year. The variation is majorly on account of inventory losses, partly offset by exchange gains. The corporation has registered a net profit of 10,795 crores for the 9 months ending 31st December 18. As compared to the net profit of 16,128 crores in the corresponding period of the previous financial year. This is mainly due to the exchange losses and lower inventory gain during the current period. The current under recovery towards LPG domestic and PDS kerosene is 147.41 rupees per cylinder or 14.2 kg and 7.78 rupees per litre for PDS kerosene. So these were the numbers. Floor is open. Inventory losses.
नेट करके देने नेट वाला मैं अभी आपको देता हूँ so gross number is product and crude put together is 6,655. Breakup between crude and product I will give you separately. This compares to gain of how much, sir? Gross inventory loss of 6,655 compares to what, sir? Compares to, if you compare with the last year same quarter, you want to compare with last quarter.
This year it was a loss of 6,655. Last year it was a gain of 5,220. Yes. 20.
And last quarter.
Quarter two 18-19, the gain was 2,221.
Okay, it is a big inventory loss that IOC has had to contend with, over 6,600 crores, which explains why, it's a pretty dismal performance if you're looking at the core GRM.